All right, so here we go. So tell me when you're ready.
You ready?
Hello, everyone. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, and today's December 4th, 2017. We're here at the State Treasurer's Office. This is a worksite meeting, and it's really important. This is for Local 1000, and it's concerning the Supreme Court case that will be heard and decided by no later than next June. This case is the Janus versus ASME court case, and it's concerning the ability of public sector unions across America to automatically deduct fees from public sector employees' paychecks. So currently in California, with Local 1000, all of the job classifications we represent, we deduct, quote, a fair share from our state employees. Well, there's a possibility, a strong possibility, with the appointment of Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, that the decision will go against unions, which means that you will no longer have to pay any money to your public sector union, even though your job may be represented by the union. This is really important. So here at Local 1000, we're asking everyone, if you're not already a dues-paying member, to please become a due-paying member. Why? Because there's power in numbers. And here in the state of California, we understand the importance of our public sector unions. Our pay raises is tied to this, our medical retirement is tied to this, and more importantly, our pensions is tied to the fact that we have a strong union. And unions historically in America have always fought to ensure that their members had good paying wages and that they would have, quote, a retirement through a pension. But right now, this is all under attack. So, again, I'm hoping that if you're not already a dues-paying member of Local 1000, you will become a dues-paying member. So, I said this kind of quickly. I want to open up the floor. If you have any questions concerning this important court case, feel free to ask me. Are there any questions? Yes?
Yeah, so isn't this a way to bust the union down within the state? So if they bust the union down, we're not gonna have any security anyway. We're not gonna have any retirement, pretty much. We're not gonna have any job security. Is that correct?
I would say yes. Mr. Janus, the state employee in Illinois, would say that we're violating his freedom of speech. He doesn't want to belong to a union. Maybe he doesn't understand the importance of having a union. So when you said about our retirement, as you know in America, most companies do not offer pensions. However, if you belong to a union, there's a great chance you have a pension. And that's really important because it allows you to have a fixed income after you retire from your job.
What about medical? Is it gonna affect our medical? A lot of people come to the state for the reason of their benefits. And if you're not gonna have benefits anymore, it's just like working in any little Joe job.
Well, I can't tell you for sure on that, but I will say this. The union has an article they've given out. It's called by Mother Jones. And it states in the state of Wisconsin, their governor, Governor Walker, he has tried to implement different measures to lessen the power of unions. This is what he is able to do through his Act 10. Quote, Wisconsin workers can no longer negotiate to improve their health or retirement benefits. Raises can't exceed the rate of inflation. Job security measures like tenure were tossed aside and managers were given the freedom to fire employees at will. Here's the key thing. Dues are no longer deducted directly from paychecks, forcing public sector unions to track down members individually to raise funds. This has happened in the state of Wisconsin. What's ironic about this, Governor Walker is in the state that was the first state in America to recognize state government employee unions in 1959. And so he is now in power, and he's really reduced the power of the unions in Wisconsin. And once the Supreme Court in America kind of does the same thing, then it's going to really lessen our ability to negotiate for good retirement. It's going to affect our ability to negotiate our medical benefits. So that's a great question.
Okay, well, where it stands now, okay, they want people to start signing up to be dual paying members, correct?
That's correct.
I mean, what is the count now? I mean, because we do have hundreds of thousands of people that are members, that are paid members.
Well, okay, so
Paying members.
right. So there's some confusion here. So I'm gonna try to address this.
Okay.
In our union, we have really three major classes: due-paying members, fair share fee payers, and non-germane objectors, NGOs. As of 2015, the last I heard, our due-paying membership was at 55,837. Now, we represent over 95,000 employees in the state of California. But of that, only 55,837 in 2015 were actually due-paying members. So I don't know the exact count right now, but we need to have 100% membership. So with this court case coming up, it may help us get there, because some people may just leave altogether. We hope not. We don't want you to leave. We value who you are. We respect who you are. And we want to stay here and protect you.
Then why the union not here today? I mean, we have a handful of people in here. It's like these handful of people is not important enough for them to come and answer our questions.
Well, okay. So the union was here in November. And so we rescheduled here in December, hoping to get a greater turnout. They're running late. They may have possibly had the date incorrect. So I apologize for that. They do care for you. So even though they're not here at the moment, they do care. And that's why I'm speaking with such passion, because I'm representing Local 1000.
So does the union have any idea how they're going to address the outcome, whether for example, if the court rules against the unions, does the union have a plan of how they're going to proceed? Have they worked out how they're going to retain members?
That is a great question. I'm not aware of the plan. I think we've known for a few years that this could happen. And so in every group, you're gonna have people who don't like the group, who don't want to be part of the group. So, I think it's fair to say that a certain percentage of the union will leave if this court decision goes against us. So I don't know, I don't have a detailed plan. As the job steward here in the state treasurer's office,
You haven't heard anything?
I have not heard anything.
Okay.
Only thing I've heard is that it's really important that we let people know that, listen, this is a huge court case, and that we don't want to lose you. And so the union has these pledge cards. You pledge that you will stay with the union, or you'll become a due-paying member.
So what is the point of the pledge card then?
To say that you're going to stay with the union, basically.
Okay, so there's no, it doesn't legally bind you to stay with the union, but,
Well, no.
It seems, so what's the point of having somebody sign a pledge card?
Well, I guess it's really no different than someone when they sign a pledge card saying they're going to vote for you. It's just your way of estimating, who's with you and who's not going to be with you.
I haven't seen that pledge card.
Yeah, actually, they had it here in November.
Oh, did they?
When the organizers came,
Okay.
they had the pledge card. So.
Now, that article that you were quoting just a minute ago.
Yes.
Did it say much about? You read to us the part about what Wisconsin did when they, how their raises, are going to be going forward and everything. Is there any discussion of exactly how it's already affected the workers? I think, the point is that that if the Supreme Court votes against the unions, then we kind of have to be prepared for how it could potentially impact us.
Well, per this article by Mother Jones, before Walker's Crusade, 14.2% of Wisconsin's workforce belonged to a union. By 2015, that figure had dropped to 8.3%. So they lost a certain
Significant.
percentage. Right.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
Almost
So,
half.
like I said, Wisconsin was the first state to recognize public sector unions. So, like I said, if this case goes against us, there's a great chance we'll lose a certain percentage. Does anyone know the exact number? No.
Well, I think part of it, and this is maybe just my opinion, California is a blue state, right? We're
That's
a little more, I don't wanna say generous, but a little more socially responsible, I think, let's put it that way, than say some of the other red states. And maybe that's a generalization, but, part of it makes me think that if the court rules against the union, that there might still be some protections in place, but we may not have like the same pay raises that we've gotten, or they may try to make us pay more our healthcare benefits, because there isn't the union negotiating the contract. I think some of the protections will probably still stay in place because that's typically what California does. But when push comes to shove, if it's all about dollars, it can affect you financially more than anything.
It sounds like it's a way to just really get rid of union.
Mhm.
Because a lot of these things that you've mentioned is key things that people want the union to protect. And if they bust that down, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good, because people need their benefits. People need their benefit. People want retirement. It's not, for me, it's not even, everybody wanna make a decent salary. Now, don't get me wrong on that. But the main thing is to have good benefits, especially if you have a family. That's my main issue. And then have a retirement. When you leave here, you work years with the state, you wanna be able to be protected that way, to know that when you retire, you have some kind of.
I was gonna say, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Look what the union's already done in terms of making us negotiating a contract that makes us pay for our own retirement, healthcare benefits, right?
And that's another issue.
And
That's something they need to start cleaning up. And that's probably why we only have a handful of people here today, is because they're not doing their job.
Well, and so, and that is under the alleged protection of the union, they have negotiated, what is it, in a couple of years, it's gonna be 3.5% of our salaries are gonna be going to, our retiree healthcare benefits. So without the union's protection or help of the union, is that there is the potential that will, down the line, we'll have to pay a greater percentage.
A percentage,
Yeah,
or 50%.
or we'll have to fund it
Yeah.
differently,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, and that, us paying the 3.5% overall by July 1st, 2020, that did not have to happen. We were already guaranteed that, right? So.
But the union
The
negotiated that
union,
right
yeah,
away.
current leadership negotiated that, but to all the due-paying members who voted for that contract, because I didn't vote to ratify that contract. I voted no against this current contract. If you voted yes for this current contract, then you were willing to give up what was guaranteed to you. And so, I told many people, I said, listen, if Governor Brown can simply just force us to pre-fund our medical costs for retirement, he would have did that. But he couldn't force us. He had to negotiate it with us, if we chose to negotiate. So unfortunately, that happened with current leadership. They chose to negotiate it. And that's really a shame. But could a day come to where whatever governor is in office could just say simply, listen, you're gonna pay more money to pre-fund your retirement for medical costs? That day could happen.